The relations between CM Punk and AEW are worse than ever. We've got an update on a possible CM Punk WWE return, and the reason behind multiple NXT stars' absences have been revealed. Stay tuned for the news. What's that you've got there, Tom?
I've just seen the thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Off we go again, eh?
A chaotic start to video
Clinton
through.
Montgomery Punk news.
Oh my God, Tom, the chaos has
It's been so
started
long since we
already.
had him in the thumbnail.
I know it has been a while, so we've got him back in the thumbnail, hopefully. But relations between CM Punk and AEW are supposedly worse than ever. From the Wrestling Observer newsletter saying CM Punk's rehab of his torn triceps is said to be going really well, which is good. But Colt Cabana, wrestling Chris Jericho, only made things worse as far as the issues between the two sides are concerned.
Which is bad.
Which is bad. That's not going well. But Punk remains adamant he has nothing to do with Cabana being gone, despite it being weird timing that Punk sort of is not around, and then Cabana's back on TV and back in with AEW. It's a weird timing. But Meltz continues saying a lot of talent in AEW believes and insists differently and is openly talking about that, referring to Cabana. Cabana being back only fueled that, especially because it was Tony Khan's decision and not a suggestion somebody else came up with. There's also been no change, as far as we know, this is what the Observer is saying, in the Punk contract situation, and that he's still under contract there, but is also selling, and they're also still selling his merch in the arenas.
Well, they got to get rid of it, don't they? They can't just leave it in a warehouse.
I mean, they could.
And also, the cruel capitalism of it is that the CM Punk merch still sells really well.
Still sells. Especially, it's going to become a rare commodity if he does leave and doesn't come back to wrestling. Are you surprised that Punk's relations are worse than ever?
Well, I think the fact they put Colt Cabana on TV, like, they must have known that it would what sort of message that would look like. Even if that's not the message that was sent, you'd have to be an idiot to think, oh, there's no way anybody will read into Colt Cabana being on telly the week that CM Punk's not here. Like, it's really obvious. And I think if it's something that obviously wasn't flagged with the appropriate people, then yeah, I guess CM Punk is going to be like, all right, fine, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of the biggest disagreements of our time come from miscommunication, and this is a great example of it.
Really is. I'm glad his injury recovery is going well, because like, you don't ever want to see someone injured, and it might lead credence to the fact that, like, if they can solve their issues, an extended period on the shelf would not be good for him, because he'll just sit at home getting angrier and angrier. Like, we've seen that before. But Colt Cabana coming back, I'm not surprised.
Quite a statement.
It is quite a statement.
Whether you mean to or not, that is making a statement.
Like, that feels, like, he can probably feels like he's being spat on while he's dying. Like, he's getting stood on and getting replaced. But I would want to buy some merch. So if you've got any merch, go to one of the AEW shows and you see some CM Punk merch, go and pick it up, because it might not be around there much longer, because he also is in talks to sort of maybe buy out the contract, from what we've heard. And if he does get a contract buyout, that means he's kind of free to work wherever he wants, like WWE. What's going on, Tom?
Now, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter this week, they've asked about the potential for CM Punk in WWE. It appears from a creative team standpoint, it's not positive, because most of them follow what happened in AEW. However, they also recognize this is going to be a Levesque, McMahon, Nick Khan call. And even though with some negative things said and negative interactions, if you are just talking business, it is something bigger than anybody else they could create. And that's very true. Like, if you put the nonsense around it to one side, like a CM Punk return for WWE on a limited schedule is probably still money, and that's pretty a big deal still. Dave goes on to say, I would think Punk will be more than willing than in the past, because if he wants vindication or revenge or whatever for what happened with his last WWE run, nothing will be bigger than moving even more business elsewhere, and he wouldn't go out of wrestling on a negative note. Because that's the thing that, and Aiden and I said this morning upstairs, that's the real heartbreaking thing about all this, is that the CM Punk return we were so excited about it. It was such a massive,
it was monumental.
It was monumental. It was the only other big sort of swinging news story over the last sort of 2 years was Vince McMahon's retirement. And it was a massive deal. Even if you hate CM Punk, you have to accept that CM Punk's return to wrestling was a massive deal.
It eclipsed Stone Cold's return to wrestling.
Yeah, big style.
Like, Punk coming back after 7 years was arguably bigger than Stone Cold wrestling after 20 or whatever it was. Like, it is major. I'm not surprised WWE, certain people in WWE are concerned that it wouldn't be a positive bringing him back.
They also talk in The Observer about how like a CM Punk schedule would be much lighter than the one that he ran before. He wouldn't be expected to do 5-6 days on the road all the time. He could cut very much like a legend schedule a la Edge, where it's the occasional feuds and occasional storylines with stop downs as and when needed. I think that'd be the best use of CM Punk. I think that would be, and I think it'd be a good way to bring him in and have him go out on a high should things defrost between WWE and CM Punk. And if CM Punk, of course, is up for just having that one final run just to kind of undo the harm from the previous one.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't see it happening, him going to WWE with Triple H in charge. I think it was a lot more likely when Vince was running the shop. There's so many matches though that I would like to see him in. I would like to see him versus modern day Seth Rollins. I would like to see him versus Roman Reigns. I would like to see him and Edge go back to it. I would see him and AJ Styles, him and Stone Cold.
Yeah,
both of them are active competitors, like potentially, but I don't know what's going on with Punk in the grand scheme of things. Only he really knows. But we will keep an eye on that story as it seems to be constantly changing.
Absolutely.
But things that could change is Impact Champions, because tonight is Overdrive. It's one of their pay-per-views, not premium live events. But the next X Division champion will be crowned on Impact Overdrive tonight as Trey Miguel and Black Taurus compete in the finals of the X Division title tournament. Now, the card for tonight's Overdrive is as follows on the pre-show. Who have we got, Tom?
Kenny King, Mike Bailey, Yuya Uemura, Bhupinder Gujar, Jason Hotch, and Rich Swann in a big old scramble-esque affair. That's going to be good times. And then it'll have Bullet Club's Chris Bay teaming with Ace Austin to face Motor City Machine Guns. So sorry, Ace and Chris from the club.
Love the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, Motor City and Bullet Club.
Yeah. Oh,
nice that.
Yeah, Chris Sabin.
I like it. I like your style. The Impact Tag Team titles on the line. Heath and Rhino take on the major players. They've had some fun in the run-up to that. We saw Heath and Rhino stop shenanigans from the major players that consequently led to your cousin Joe Hendry becoming the digital media champion.
That's a good Scottish impression right there.
No, I was doing my silly voice for digital media.
I thought you were doing Scottish.
It's not all about you, mate.
I thought you were doing a Joe Hendry.
No.
Hello, I'm Joe Hendry.
That's a rubbish Scottish,
Thanks,
that is, mate. The Knockouts tag titles on the line. The Death Dolls facing Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. Mickey James and Taylor Wilde going one-on-one. Bully Ray takes on Moose in a tables match. Bully Ray in a tables match in 2022. Get in. The Knockouts title on the line in the third women's last woman standing match in as many weeks, pretty much.
Right, we've had quite a few. It's good to see.
Yeah.
So last knockout standing, Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich.
That's going to be fun.
Who's walking with that one?
I think this is where they put the belt on Masha. I think you put the belt on Masha here because you can take the belt off Jordan in a way that makes Jordan look strong in defeat. And I think it gives Masha what is very much due, which is a run with the Impact Knockouts title.
It does feel like
brilliant.
It feels like she should have had it by now.
Yeah, I thought she'd take it off her last month, but I think this is where they do it. This is where they pull the trigger. And then the main event, Frankie Kazarian going for the Impact World title, forfeiting his X Division title to face Josh Alexander.
Yeah, no, I saw Impact tweeting that Frankie Kazarian was the first person to ever come out the tunnel on their pay-per-views, which is it's crazy that 17 years later, I think, math might be right, that he's now in the Impact World title match. I don't think he's gonna win. I feel like Josh Alexander is Mr. Impact. Like, that's when you think of Impact Wrestling, it's Josh Alexander. So I don't want to.
I think it's just another benchmark for Josh Alexander to beat Kazarian.
Absolutely. But we're going to end today's news videos. Thank you for joining me, Tom. We're going to talk about NXT. We love a bit of NXT, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yes. On today,
it's great.
Yeah, is it? On Tuesdays, NXT, Javier Burnell called out several members of the NXT roster who are currently unavailable, including Gallus, Ilya Dragunov, and Axiom. Now, Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio explained, now, bear with us with this quote. Yeah, they're either injured, which actually is a code word for getting their visas worked on, or in some cases, and suspended, which is also a code word for getting their visas worked on. And guys, actually injured. Now, we've since had it clarified that they are just getting their visas worked on.
Yeah.
Gallus obviously being it from Scotland. They need their visa to work in the United States. So they're back home for a wee while. Maybe we'll see them back on TV.
I thought you might see your cousins while they're back.
Well, I was back home at the weekend, but no, they were busy. They were too busy in bars, standing like that, getting into fights.
Oh, hello, Barry. Barry
old
watches.
I know.
Hello, Barry. Love you, Barry.
Good guy.
Love
Good
you
guy.
about your cousin Barry.
But that is all the news we have for us for you today. We will not be back, but the podcast will go live tonight.
We might
at
be.
8 p.m. We might be.
See how we go.
Yeah, we might
busy
be
weekend over the weekend as well.
Yes.
Join us for live reactions to AEW Full Gear. It's Andrew and Adam going through every moment from the show live with you. You can watch what happened at and the WTF moments from Full Gear shortly afterwards. But right now, 9 pitches and predictions waiting for you on the YouTube channel as well. Full girthy content from the Cultaholic podcast lads as well later tonight.
It's going to be a long weekend. It's going to be a really long weekend, Tom.
It's not, because I'm not working it.
I need it mine, to be fair.
Having a party instead.
Anyway, have a nice day. Enjoy your Fridays. We will see you later.